How to use assets in Affinity Photo. There's the assets panel. Find the assets panel, go to View menu and Studio and Assets. Now, assets store designs you've created earlier. So any designs like text or just pixel layers, etc., all can be stored away in the assets, and you can use them in future projects or in the current one. And simply select and drag into the document. Also, you can double click the design as well, and that will place it in the document as well. There's no connection back to the original in the assets panel. So you can now apply filters, mirror, deform, etc. Any of them. So you can create all kinds of weird and wonderful shapes now, but that will not affect the underlying asset there. But what you can do, once you've applied your filters, of course, you can then store that in the assets and then, of course, use it in a future project. Of course, what you can also do, you can build up subcategories, categories, etc., which you can then, of course, maybe create for a particular project. So you've got maybe all your different designs for a particular project stored away in there. So they can be used future times. Of course, what you can always do, you can always just save the designs to a folder and use that as well. But this is just a handy, very quick and easy way of storing things. So again, with that design, just go to the right side menu and then you can add from selection. And of course, you can continue to add additional filters. So equations, mirror, number of mirrors, you can change those, you can change the input, you can create all kinds of really, and also it's a nice interactive design feature with mirror. And of course, once you've created your design, click apply, and then you can again add that if you wish. But you can also continue to add more filters to it, maybe other color effects, etc. So you can create some very elaborate designs using this approach. Change the number of mirrors, change the input, and you can interactively change the origin point. And again, once you've finished, once you've clicked apply, what you can do, go over to the assets panel and use that menu to add from selection. Go there and add from selection. And again, what you can do, you can always drag it back in at a later point if you wish to use it. So simply just go to it and drag into the document. Likewise, the other one as well that you created. And of course, you've got many other designs, and of course, you could have hundreds of designs in this. I'm not certain if there's a limit. And you can continue to work with these things. You can resize it, etc. Just delete it now. What you can also do, you can create multiple copies. Now, I simply drag from the assets panel this asset. Now, I'm going to duplicate it. So I hold down the Alt or Option key and drag, and you can create multiple copies. Now, if I select them all and then go to the Add from Selection, what happens, it will create 4 different assets. I don't want that. I want it to be a complete design. Now, I don't want to merge it. Don't want to rasterize and all that sort of stuff. What I want to do, I want to add that. So first thing to do before you do anything else, go to the Layers panel and then go down to a Group. When you right click and then select Group. And now they're all grouped. And of course, what you can do with a group, you can still continue to modify it. You can change things, apply effects, etc. But now as a group, you go to Add from Selection. It will take the group and it will put it as a group there. Which is great. So it's stored away for future use. And of course, what you can do, you can continue to apply filter effects, color effects, etc. So you can always go to filters and maybe mirror. I like mirror. My go-to effect is mirror, I have to admit. I spend hours working with a mirror. But I'm just going to create a quick design. And then once you've done that, what you can then do is you can then, of course, save that. Change the input, you can change the output. Click apply. And again, go to the right side and add from selection. And that's stored away as well for future use. But you can also do other things. You can apply live filter layers and those sort of things. So I've got a design there. What you can go to layer and new live filter layer and maybe go to distort. Go to 12. Sadly, mirror, deform, etc. not in there. And you can modify things, angle, radius, interactively change the twirl. So you can create a nice design. And once you've done that, close it. Close the panel. Now you can't add that asset in straight away. You can also, I'm just going to quickly add an adjustment layer as well. Layer menu and new adjustment layer and recolor. I'm just going to go with a very basic red there. So it's been added. Now, if I go to the layers panel, and if I simply try to add that, add from selection now, what would happen is I would get the design, but I wouldn't get the effects. So I'll just get that. Not what I want. I want the lovely red design. Even though you can see it, underline is still not a red design. So what you need to do is go to the layers panel. And with the layers panel, and that's via the view and studio and layers, select all of the layers there. Now go to layer and merge visible. And what you do, you've still got the originals if you want to continue to do work with them, modify the effects, etc. But you've got a pixel design now, which can be added into there. So go right side menu and add from selection. And now you see you've got your design there with the lovely red added to it. And of course you can continue to work with either design. So you can modify that. And you can also select all of them and then maybe add that to the assets as well if you wish. So assets are a really useful feature of Affinity Photo. What you can also do, because I haven't really explored it, but what you can do, you've got this menu at the side as well, right side menu, right at the top. You've got create new category, rename category, delete category. So you can create additional categories. You can also create subcategories. So you can create quite a nice complex structure of assets. Also, you can import and export the assets. So you can save them off-site and bring them back in again if you need them for a project. Hope you found this of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extra channel. Always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Illustrator and many others. Please add some comments, always appreciated. A dislike or like. Thank you much.